earlier with Andrew Fife, who's on the call, and Christopher Mitchell-Tree from Neutone. And for those of you who may not be familiar with that, that's a way where you can take your trained machine learning models and turn them into audio plugins. It's essentially an audio plugin host for things like your DAW workstation. So that's Quasmo, among other things. So I will stop talking. I'll turn it over to now. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for wonderful introduction of me and Cosmo, and I'm so happy to be here. So my name is Naoto Kui. I'm an artist, researcher, and the founder of Cosmo and Neutone. So we are based in Tokyo. Good morning. And so today I want to talk about mainly my AI generative DJ performance, and reason why I've been doing this. And so again, this is the same thing. So let me introduce myself. Do you hear my voice okay? And okay, cool.
Yes, voice is good.
Okay. So let me start with my personal story. So the reason I got interested in this AI and music is this. Like, I entered the University of Tokyo back in 1995, and I started DJing when I was a student at AI laboratory there, and I also started making music, but I don't play any musical instrument, and I don't even read musical scores. So how can I make interesting new music? Then naturally I turned into programming and AI, and the first academic paper I published was this. But it's 2000, yeah. The title was Music Composition with Interactive Evolutionary Computation, and what I did was to combine evolutionary computation, like genetic algorithms and genetic programming, with neural network. So if you want to use genetic algorithms or evolutionary computation, then you have to provide evaluation function or fitness function, and my system was interactive, meaning you have to evaluate by yourself each one of springs in the population. So it's tedious, of course. So I trained the neural network on my evaluation score, so that you can automatically somehow evaluate generated rhythms. And that's how I got into neural networks and AI. And I produced a few musical pieces, like albums and vinyl records, and I started producing techno and house dance music using AI. So basically what I've been doing is this. I want to make interesting rhythm patterns, noises, unimaginable by myself. So I need some help from AI to create something interesting and new, which is unachievable, unimaginable by myself without the help from AI or any computational technologies. So in other words, I've been thinking about this question: how can we use AI to create new, original, and valuable music, rather than imitating and copying what somebody has already created? So I'm not interested in imitation or optimization of music production process. So, but some people, it's too loud. Some people see it differently. So some researchers think AI music generation is kind of research or engineering topic you can solve with AI, but I'm not interested in solving AI music generation problem. So for me, it's not an optimization process. So art or music or making music is not an optimization process. So I think AI music generation should be an artistic challenge or research challenge to create new unique music with the help of AI, or new challenge to help human artists to be more creative. Yeah, so again, I'm not interested in imitation, optimization, streamlining. Rather, I'm interested in making music production more diverse, and I want to deviate from conventional music styles and create something new. Okay, so this is like a background of my story and what I want to achieve in general. So in today's talk, I want to talk about these three topics. So first one is, as I said, AI DJ project, which I've been working on since 2015, and also I will briefly talk about Neutone plugin, Neutone AI audio plugin and community. And if I have enough time, I want to discuss a little bit about my current research direction and so avenue I want to explore in the future. Okay, so the first topic is AI DJ project. So again, it's not about automating a DJ process. Rather, I want to make it more exciting or more interesting or more strange with AI. Then, so this project, so initially I started this project as like a back-to-back session, like back-to-back DJ session with my AI system. So I play one song, then the AI software selects next song depending on my musical selection. So so today I want to skip the technical detail of this project, but the most fascinating thing on this project was AI DJ selects reasonably good music selection. AI DJ select reasonably good music depending on my choice. And the basics of DJ is to keep the atmosphere of the dance floor to make people keep dancing. So the basics is to select similar song or song with similar group or texture to again keep the atmosphere of the dance floor. So AI was surprisingly good at this task, but sometimes it selects very interesting, unexpected songs. So that surprised me, and also that excited me. So by playing with this AI software, I could open up my eyes and find new way to perform as a DJ. So it was a very interesting experience and experiment for me. And Yeah, so as I said, I started this project back in 2015, and we were so fortunate to have opportunities to play various locations, including Google I/O or other festivals. And just fast forward to 2020, 2021, we extended this idea of playing DJing with AI to a new form. And in this case, it's like a real-time AI jam session. So I hope you can hear the sound of music. Okay, and so so this time it's not about music selection. It's music generation in symbolic domain. So in this performance, I used three AI models: rhythm generation, and baseline generation, and loop selection model. And these models interact with each other and keep improvising this kind of music. And I, as a DJ, intervened the process of these three models interaction. And also I, of course, manipulated the DJ mixer and mixed them together to maintain the music, the flow of music. It was, again, super fun. Loop selection. So a little bit of technical details. So I use my own Ableton Live Max device. So this is a simple VAE model, LSTM based VAE model. So this is Ableton Live Max device. So you can train your own model on Ableton Live. So it's easy to use or misuse. And the second model was baseline generation. So this is again LSTM based model. And in this case, it was sequence to sequence model. So it's like translating drum pattern, rhythm pattern, into baseline pattern. And you can find these models and these devices on my GitHub GitHub repository. So if you are interested, please take a look. But I have to make an excuse. Like it's kind of challenging to maintain the compatibility of Ableton Live device, especially I use TensorFlow.js and Node.js in MaxMSP. So if you are interested in maintaining and updating this device, I'm really happy to talk to you. Yeah, so this is the evolution of my AI DJ project. So back-to-back music session turned into MIDI-based real-time music generation. But it was super challenging. The second second performance, the MIDI-based real-time music generation, it's too demanding for a human DJ. So you have to control all three models, and also you have to control the synthesizers and MIDI controller, and also DJ mixer. And it was too demanding, and it's the quality of the music was highly dependent on human DJ. So it was more like a DJ test or DJ challenge. So I felt being challenged by AI models. But so I looked for another options or another solutions for this problem or this project, and obviously maybe starting from 2022 or 21 we saw the rise of audio generation models. So I looked for options to implement this audio generation based so I looked for options to realize this audio based real-time music performance, and I found GANs are actually useful for this purpose. So instead of as Scott introduced in the beginning, I used this Stylegun model to generate, instead of fake faces or fake paintings, I generated I used Stylegun to generate spectrogram. So this is the first prototype of this system. So this is Stylegun model trained on loops, audio loops, and this model generates 4-second long loops in less than 0.5 seconds. So it's faster, way faster than real time. And here's some technical detail. So I used various data set for this purpose. So I used free sound loop data set, and also I curated audio samples from commercial sample packs, and also I used my own music as training data. And this is a bit controversial stuff, but here in Japan it's totally legal to train your model on copyrighted materials. So I'm always tempted to train my models on copyrighted materials, and I must admit, like, I tried it and I did it, but it's a bit I don't know, I don't feel comfortable, so I try to avoid that avenue as much as possible. This is like maybe one of the topics we should discuss. But anyway, these are training data, and I pre-processed these sound. So I used a simple tempo detection to time stretch to 120 BPM. So every song or every samples, every loops in my dataset is in 120 BPM, and I use beat detection technique to extract 2-bar long loops. So 120 BPM 2-bar long makes 4-second long loop. So in this way I could create a bunch of spectrograms in the same format. And I use initially male GAN vocoder, and I switched to hi-fi GAN vocoder for converting spectrogram into audio. So this code is available on my GitHub. So if you are interested, you can take a look. And this is another topic. So once you have Stylegun models trained on spectrogram, you have to have good ways to interact with these models. And I found this paper called Gunspace super interesting and useful, and I integrated this idea into my system. The system is super simple. You can just PCA, you can apply PCA on randomly generated Stylegun vectors, and then you can find the meaningful directions in the style space. So the first few components of PCA output should be corresponding to some meaningful characteristics of the output. So here I have two samples. So this is this graph. So this is here. I have a few PCA components, and I found the first components correspond to the style of rhythm pattern. So you can make it more like 4 to the floor, 4 to 4. How do I say? Like 4 to the floor type audio, or you can make it more like breakbeats. So, sorry. Yeah, this is more like breakbeats. And this small light indicates the generation of new loop. So you can see how fast this generation process is. And here's another example. In this case, it's simply more like pitch changer. Okay. Yeah, so this is the whole diagram of my system. Here I have a few different models trained on different data sets, such as rhythm patterns, bassline, melodies, and I use these models to generate different types of loop and mix them together as a DJ. And every time a new loop is generated, it gets simply crossfaded into the previous one. And I found one small trick. Like I added small Gaussian noise to the style vector, so that the loop for the left channel and the loop for the right channel can have a slight difference, and I found this stereo effect very interesting. And I also use Neutone plugin, which I will talk about later. Yeah, so this is, sorry, it's a bit messy, but this is the actual interface I used during the performance. So I have, in this case, I have 4 models or 4 tracks, and you can see generated spectrograms and playback control, like the length of loop or direction of the playback. And here you see the Gunspace controller. And yeah, so I have presets in the bottom, and so I pre-selected bunch of locations in the latent space as presets in advance, so before the performance. Then I basically select select and switch between presets and mix them. I mean, mix these 4 tracks together as a DJ. And the style vectors, these presets will be interpolated and gradually change, so you can hear the smooth and gradual changes in the rhythm pattern and bass lines. Yeah, then this is kind of small optional topic, but I usually use very big DJ mixer for my performance, and I assign each one of models into each channel of the DJ mixer, and I also have a channel for Neutone. Then yeah, the rest is the same, so the rest is just a normal DJ. So as a DJ, I just select presets and mix melodies and bass lines and apply some EQs and audio effects. So the rest is basically the same as normal DJ. I mean, same as what normal DJ does. Yeah. So here is a short excerpt from my performance. Let me skip a little bit. So here I use Neutone. Yeah, especially this part. Yeah, so this is the performance from Mutech last year, and I think I faced new interesting challenge. I mean, using Stylegun and Hi-Fi Gun, you can make your sound very realistic and high quality. Then it can, my performance can become like a normal DJ. What I mean, you know what I mean. Like, so first time I played this performance, the audience didn't realize that I was using AI. They just thought I was just doing the normal DJ stuff, and so this I faced kind of dilemma, like I want to make it more realistic and more higher quality, but if I do so, then what's the difference between like normal DJ and this kind of AI DJ performance from the point of view of the audience. So yeah, this is kind of interesting new challenge for me. Yeah. Anyway, so it was about my AI DJ performance, and yeah, as I mentioned, I used Neutone plugin, which I and my team has been working on, and I see Andrew and Andrew, yeah, a few folks from my team in this Discord, and yeah, some of you may be already familiar with Neutone, but Neutone is meant to be a community for musicians and AI researchers and audio engineers, and we provide VST audio unit plugins for those, and we also provide SDK and wrapper for AI models, so you can wrap any PyTorch models into Neutone plugin, and yeah, so once you install the plugin, you can browse and download and use any models on the Neutone repository in your favorite digital audio stations, and yeah, it's I think it's worth noting that the plugin works in real time. I think that's crucial if you think about the working process of musicians and live performance environment. So the typical use case and typical example of Neutone models is timbre transfer. So this is a rave model developed by Antoine at UConn. Yeah, so you can transfer voice into violin sound, or in this case, my friend Big Yuki plays.
Oh shit! This is gonna be great. Woo! Yeah, what if we
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his face, but yeah, in this case, he plays typical Moog synthesizer and transfer it into violin again using Neutone. And as I said, we provide SDK, so we now see new models coming out from our community. So yeah, we are so excited to work with community, and so if you are interested, please join our Discord. And this is new, so we have been working on the offline rendering mode. So now my loop gun is integrated into Neutone plugin, so you can generate a bunch of loops on Neutone plugin and on your digital audio workstation. Yeah, Andrew did great job implementing this offline rendering and loop gun, and we have another news. Yeah, so we have been working on the MIDI capability as well. So you can now host any MIDI models on Neutone plugin. So here we host in this video, we hosted a tap to rhythm transformer model on Neutone plugin, and so this is input. This hi-hat is input. And you can generate a realistic rhythm pattern out of this tapped rhythm. So this is an amazing job by Julian Lenz, one of our interns. And so we hope we can provide this offline rendering SDK and MIDI, Neutone MIDI SDK by the end of this year. And I have another big news. So we officially Neutone Inc. We as Cosmo, we have been working on Neutone as a kind of internal project of Cosmo, but we decided to register Neutone as an independent company, and we want to move faster and move forward. So if you are interested, we are hiring people, so please feel free to contact us. And I think I still have a little bit of time, so I want to talk about the research direction I want to explore from now. And so let's get back to the original question. Like, I want to explore how we can use AI to create new, original, and interesting and weird music rather than imitating existing music. And so my question, like my research question, has been this: like, how can we optimize AI specifically for the purpose of generating something new and original? And I've been thinking about this, and I didn't enough time to tinker and play with new new architecture, new tools. But I did this research back in 2019, and again, this is rhythm generation, but it's in symbolic domain, and I used GAN to generate a bunch of different electronic music rhythm patterns. So instead of generating faces, in this case I want to have a matrix of rhythm pattern, and I made a like conditional GAN model. It's very simple in today's standard. It's almost like a toy problem in today's standard, but so these are like output of a conditional GAN model. So if you condition on I don't know, like breakbeat genre, then you can get something like this. Then this is nothing interesting, nothing special, and so I added one more discriminator to this model to classify the genre of generated rhythm pattern, and I trained generator to confuse the additional genre classification model, and so the result was very interesting. These are some samples. So I kept original discriminator in this framework. So the I hoped the original discriminator made sure that the generative rhythm pattern should sound authentic. The generative rhythm pattern sounds like dance music rhythm pattern, but by adding this genre classification model, and by training the generator to confuse this genre classification model, you can push this GAN framework to the boundary of genre and to the little bit outside of this known genre world, so that I expected to have some interesting new rhythm pattern, and the result was very interesting. So I think it's exciting and interesting direction to explore. And so yeah, as I said, this research was done in 2020, and since then I didn't have enough time to explore this avenue. So I wanna start working on this. So if you have any suggestions and if you know any good papers, please let me know. Okay, so I think that's it from me. So thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, comments, please, feel free to ask.
Wonderful. Thanks very much. Now, that was a great talk. I'm going to turn off the recording, whatever we got from the recording, that is. Hopefully we can clean up the audio a bit. Folks who have questions, you can either type them or we can